Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Big Zach, and I'm back with another video, but this one is a little bit different. I decided to make these videos for people who listen better than they do studying alone, just reading. So I thought to myself, I said, hey, by the way, I just achieved my CDL permit, so I decided to let's walk through some of these and kind of so I could talk to you guys and you guys can understand and listen instead of just reading. And yeah, so I'm going to be breaking down these videos into 3 videos: general knowledge, air brakes, combinations. Easy as that. So as you guys can see on the screen, we're starting with general knowledge. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Driver Solution and Pam Trucking for giving me this opportunity to be great. So without further ado, man, I ain't want to waste no more time. Let's go ahead and get into it. So general knowledge is a 50-question test at your local DMV. I believe you have to get 40 out of those 50 correct. Don't quote, I can't remember. I got bad memory, but I passed the CDL test, the permit test. I believe it's 40 out of 50. So we're going to go through these 50 questions, and I'm going to be kind of breaking it down and also reading you guys. As you guys can see on the screen, you can see the answer right there. But I'm just going to be reading it so you guys can listen, put this on while you're driving, or just put it in your AirPod and listen to it. So yeah, question 1. According to the federal law, it is illegal to have a CDL license. It's illegal to have it for more than one state. So I'm not going to break that down. It's kind of self-explanatory. You can't have a CDL in more than one state. The best way to check for loose lugs is check that all lugs are present and appear tight. Rust trails would be a good indication for loose lug nuts. So if they ask any questions about loose lugs or anything like that, remember rust can be a good indication for loose lugs. You feel me? Remember that. That is always going to be a good indicator. You are checking your wheels, rims, and lug nuts during a pre-trip inspection. Which of these statements is true? Rust around wheel lugs may mean that they are loose. I basically just said it. There it go again. The rust around it may indicate that they are loose. What sort of things should you inspect during a pre-trip? Gauges, brakes, lights, cargo, and coupling devices are the things that you should check during a pre-trip inspection. To prevent skids, drive at speed proper for current road condition. That's how you avoid skids, and most skids often happen with high speeding or fast driving, as you will say. That's how most skids happen. Oil pressure is a concern when starting the engine. What should you be looking for? This answer choice says all answer choices are correct, which are: check to make sure gauges work, make sure the oil pressure rises quickly, and make sure the warning light goes out. All of those will be the answer. The DMV they're not gonna have question choices with all of the above on it. So the answer would be one of those 3. But for this particular practice test, it was all of the above. Which of these statements is true about high beams? High beams should be used when it is safe and legal to do so. Another one that's kind of self-explanatory. Your high beams should be used when it's safe and legal to do so. What is the best advice when entering fog? Watch for changing conditions and reduce your speed. I believe the DMV asked one like this. They just reworded the answer a little bit different. They just put reduce your speed for changing conditions. It's the same thing. Watch for changing conditions when fog. When the roads are slippery, you should make turns as gentle as possible. Make your turns as gentle as possible. What do you do when your truck is overheating? Pull over as soon as you can safely do so. and let the engine cool down. True or false? It can take more than 15 seconds to cross a railroad track. That answer is true. It can take more than 15 seconds to cross a railroad track. Which is the best way to use the brake pedal on a steep downgrade? Apply brakes, slow down approximately about 5 miles, and when speed increases to safe speed, repeat the process. The DMV is going to ask a question. They're going to say, how many miles below are, you know what I'm saying, your safe miles? It's 5 miles below the posted speed limit is your safe. Yeah. What makes it easier for a modern truck to go up and down hills and mountains? Low friction parts and streamlined shapes. To avoid a crash, you had to drive on a right shoulder. How should you move back onto the pavement? Come to a complete stop if possible before steering back onto the pavement. Which of these is most important thing to remember about emergency braking? If the wheels are skidding, you cannot control the vehicle. You are driving on a straight level highway at 50 miles per hour. There are no vehicles in front of you. A tire blows out on your vehicle. What should you do first? Stay off the brake until the vehicle slows down on its own. You are traveling and an oncoming car swerves towards you. You should move to the right. Kind of self-explanatory. Move to the right. What should you do if your ABS modification lamp comes on while driving? Continue to drive at normal speeds. Continue to drive. Continue to drive. True or false? When skidding or sliding, you must apply ABS brakes differently than you would brake without anti-braking systems. True. You are starting your vehicle in motion from a stop. As you would apply power to the drive wheels, they start to spin. What should you do? Take your foot off the accelerator. Take your foot off the accelerator. To correct a rear wheel drive, to correct a rear wheel braking skid, you should release the brakes and steer/counter steer. Also, at any point, guys, you guys feel like I'm going kind of fast, you guys can always rewind, go back, go forward, whatever you guys want to do. Just make sure you guys take in what I'm saying. How do you correct a rear wheel acceleration skid? Stop accelerating and push in the clutch. When backing a loaded truck, you need a helper because mirrors don't let you see directly behind the trailer. True or false? The parking brake is used to help eliminate rollbacks. That's true. When requesting emergency assistance at an accident scene, the most important information to give is the location of the accident. If there is a fire in the cargo area, the doors should be kept closed. Which fires can you put out with water? Tire fires is the only fires that you can put out with water. As the blood alcohol concentration goes up, what happens? The person is even more dangerous if allowed to drive. Under the influence of any drugs which make you drive unsafely is against the law. The best way to prevent fatigue is to schedule trips during hours you are normally awake. How many classes of hazmats are there? There are 9 classes. I don't believe the DMV is going to ask that question. I don't know why they're showing me this one. But if it do, you know the answer is 9. You do not have a hazardous material endorsement on your commercial driver's license. When can you legally haul a hazardous material? When the load does not require placards. True or false? If your transmission is being downshifted, you must raise the engine speed when you double clutch. That is true. True or false? It is recommended that the drivers use the downshift procedure as a way to slow their rigs. That is true. When looking ahead of the vehicle while driving, you should look back and forth, near and far. Which of these statements about using mirrors is true? There are blind spots that your mirrors cannot show you. The CDL manual suggests several things to do when you pass a vehicle. Which of these is not one of the things they suggest? Always honk your horn. They do not suggest that. Do not honk your horn. When should you honk your horn? Prior to backing or to warn other drivers with whom you cannot make eye contact. The road is most slippery just after it starts to rain. When you double your speed in a heavy vehicle, it will have 4 times the destruction power if it crashes. 4 times the destruction power if it crashes. What distance will a tractor trailer travel at 55 miles in 1 second? 81 feet is the correct answer. To make a left turn, start the turn at the center of the intersection. Choose the diagram. The best illustrations the path you should follow if you cannot make a right turn without swinging into another lane to turn. True or false? A driver doesn't need to be worried about the clearance under the vehicle. That is false. You should always be worried about the clearance under the vehicle. You are driving and a spot danger ahead. It is sometimes easier to change lanes than to stop. When transporting cargo, how often should you check your load? Within the first 50 miles, then every 150 miles or 3 hours, whichever comes first. Which of these statements about loading cargo is true? State regulations dictate legal weight limits. True or false? Bridge formula laws permit more maximum axle weight for axles that are closer together. That is false. Cargo that can shift should have at least 2 tie downs. True or false? To correct the trailer drift when straight line backing, turn the steering wheel the same way that the trailer is drifting. That is true. And all right, guys, that wraps up this portion of the general knowledge practice questions. Make sure you guys hit that like button if this video really helped you out a lot. Subscribe and comment if you need additional breakdown information, and I will do what I can to help you guys understand it better. Until next time, catch you later.